Okay, hey, it's PHILA, and you're watching philatv, the ultimate YouTube channel. I'm no set photographer, just a dude with a camera. Okay, here is part 4, rust treatment and pan fitting on a shortened VW pan for one of my Meyers Manx projects. We knocked the pans out, we took care of the rust, and we are fitting the new pan. So stay tuned and hope you guys enjoy this video. Could be a lot of good information. First, I wanted to point out that it's 96 degrees inside my shop. Just turned the AC on. It's 108 outside. But that's okay, it's 25 minutes after 10. What we're going to be working on today, I had some questions about how I immobilize the rust. So here you go. This is before, click, click, and this is after. So this is just, I just knocked the rust down with a wire wheel, and you can see how scaly it was. All right, you can see I've kind of knocked it down a little bit here, and what I'm using is this stuff which is actually discontinued, a must for rust. I'm telling you, I knocked it down with a wire wheel, sprayed a little bit. I mean, I have an ounce or at the most in here, maybe 2. So I sprayed a little bit on there, which has been diluted 50% already. And this is what it looked like. You can see what drips off of it, nice clean white. That's bare metal you're seeing there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock about half of this off with my wire wheel. Get as much off as I can. And then I'm gonna spray some. You can see where I even missed it here, but I also didn't hit it with the wire wheel. So I'm gonna clean all that up and go to about where this brake backing plate is. And then we're going to do a comparison. As you can see by my angle grinder how dusty it is, I went and knocked down all the rust all the way up to this first weld mark. As you can see, this is what it looked like. This is what else we're going to contend with. But I went and knocked all the top of that off as good as I can. And I don't have a lot of this rust stuff that I've been using. So I'm going to try and use it sparingly. So I'm going to put down the phone. Okay, bad news. I went to use the spray bottle that had the last of it in there, and that's all I got. A couple little squirts. So I dumped it into a jar, and that's all I got. And I've already cut this 50% with water. So I'm going to brush this on there, and we're going to let it sit. So I'm going to see how far I can get with it. All right, that's it. You saw how I just had like a shot glass full of it, and I was able to coat the whole tunnel all the way to the weld, and I even put a second coat on the front horn. Okay, so I even went just a little bit past the the weld mark, just to see what's going on. I mean, I'm gonna have to grind those down because that weld might need a little attention, but we're gonna let this thing soak here for about a half hour and come back to it. Funny thing is, I used that little tiny bed on this whole project here, where in the past, that's the second bottle I've used of that, and I just spray it on like it's, you know, simple green or whatever, and I just wasted it all. It's amazing. Anyways, I found a gallon and I got it coming. Okay, this is only about 10 minutes into it, and you can see the job it's done on this. See, that's all bare metal. It's still going to continue turning white, and we'll come back and visit in just a couple of minutes. This is after about 25 minutes, and you can see how this is all white. You can even see the factory paint coming up underneath where the rust used to be. And now all I'm going to do, I mean, they say you could paint it right now. Paintable surface. I've still got some welding to do and some grinding to do, and I'm probably going to take one more layer off of this to make it perfect, even though it is the bottom side. But I'm just going to right now wipe it with a wet towel because it's a little bit sticky. And how about that? If that is not convincing people, let's see. This is what it looked like, and that's what it looks like now. I had some evapor rust left in the bottle that had been used to soak a lot of greasy nuts and bolts. So I took the rest of that and just brushed it over here. And this has been about 30 minutes. And then the difference is that to that. But either way, I'm gonna let this thing just sit there until I get my crud cutter. That's it, crud cutter. And then I'll slap the rest of this on here. Okay, with the pan right side up, the real work begins. Got all this to be cleaned up. Inside the tunnel, we still got a bunch of junk in there. And then you can take a look here at what's left of my pan sections. The hammer and the chisel idea worked really well because look, you can see each one of these spot welds. So I got to go back and follow it with the chisel, knock each one of those out, and these strips will look nice and clean. This is where a weld is. It's going to take a little bit more attention, but I've got to clean up all this. And then there's a big weld here we're going to clean up. And then we're going to get some heat on this, and we're going to get all this tar paper off of here. Do a lot of scraping, and hopefully get the pans on and get it ready for paint within the next week. That's my goal for next week. This thing welded and painted. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to end the video here. We're going to pick it up next time with putting in the pan halves, and I am going to get to work on knocking the rest of these spot welds out. I decided to stay indoors and enjoy the air conditioner just a little bit more. I mean, even though it's only 99 degrees outside. I was going to let this sit out in the sun, heat up so I could take off all this tar installation, but instead I decided to get the handy dandy heat gun and slide it off with a little heat and a putty knife. Got most of it off. It's still pretty sticky, but at least I didn't have to sit outside in the heat. But I'm going to put this on a dolly and roll it outside and let it get a couple hours of heat, and then I'm going to hit it with a scouring pad and get the rest of this tar off. Oh, and a little chiseling, prying. Look at this. We've got the rest of the pan half off and semi-clean. Just got to get in here with my flap disc and cut down the rest of those spot welds. Clean up the corner, clean up this mess, clean up this mess. Let's test fit a pan. Here we are with a little test fitting of the pans. The front quarter section is going to fit nicely. Going to use this boxed rail as a guide, and then all we have to do is fill that in with what we have here. Seems pretty simple to me, guys. I can't wait. All right, I got two pieces of my pan fitted using the stock bolt holes. This is a correct seam match. I chopped it off here, so all we got to do is worry about 8 inches right here in between the bolt holes, which should be about the same size. It's all bolted in with this boxed rail that I'm using as a template. So tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and build this corner out, and then once we weld all this together, I could unbolt it all, take this piece out, and have a pan set, and use that again for my next template. Because you know, I got a couple of pans over here that I got to do. That's it for today. All right, thanks for watching PHILA. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date on all these great buggy projects. Take care. Thanks for watching. Ciao.